I said good day, sir!
Alright, hello, and welcome everybody out there in the world of Dota. Dota 2 rather. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This is going to be the Defense, sponsored by BenQ as well as Razer, as you just saw by that epic intro. And we will have ourselves a good game now today, this evening, of WhA Asian against Team Infused, as you can see right there. Players are loading in, so I will throw you guys into the game as well. I'm Epi, with me is Durka, and he will be my co-commentator for the day, so welcome to the broadcast.
Hey there, I was just having a chuckle to myself about the WhA Asian clan tag and banners that they've got around the map. Pretty amusing picture they've got there.
You mean that little rice Asian?
You know, the sort of stereotypical Chinese sort of circular hat, and he's got his chopsticks and rice, yep.
Yeah. WhA Asian went up against EG. Last game they had. Unfortunately, they didn't make it against that top team, but they put up a very good fight. They performed awesomely, and I think they will also make Infused. They will. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say this will be a very good and even game with Infused, led by wagamama, against the new guys here in the defense. And while we're talking about WhA Asian quickly, RMC actually would like to give a big shout out to Lux Slardar. So there you go. Lux Slardar, shout out from RMC, and let me know what the background story is of that. So I've actually no idea. At any rate, so we're done with the formalities. We are inside the draft, and Durka, why don't you get the viewers caught up?
Okay, we have Lycan here banned out by Infused, as well as Darkseer. Two very common bans there. Darkseer used very often to turtle in your base, but can also be thrown onto the HUD lane and collect gold just by putting his Iron Shell on the creeps, and he can easily pull the enemy creep wave towards his tower. Lycan, obviously that strong jungling hero which Europeans like to use there, but more common than not in the Southeast Asian scene, he is thrown onto the safe lane, onto the Troy lane, so that he can be protected while he farms, and they turn any form of kills or initiation into towers, simply because his walls and his aura and his howl can do so much damage. And on the other side we have Brewmaster, Broodmother, and Lesh all banned out. Three very big heroes. Broodmother, an annoying lane presence who can, if left alone, can push towers all by herself. Lesh, a great all-round hero, ganking, nuking, tower diving, and his ultimate in the mid to late game dealing huge amounts of AoE damage. And obviously Brewmaster, an irritating hero in his own right, who can be very powerful in a dual lane and in team fights, causing all sorts of havoc with his ultimate.
Yes, absolutely. And the last ban out from Infused will be that Lone Druid. First pick now goes toward the Dire side, and WhA Asian. Good luck to both teams for the defense. Up to now, we've seen some very good games, and obviously, Chaos Knight would be one of the first three picks. Actually, let me take that back. I did cast a game with Purge where M5 went up against Dara, and Chaos Knight as well as Invoker were ignored. That means not picked or banned. But I guess we're back in the world of normal drafting, and that means Chaos Knight does get picked up first from Team WhA Asian. We'll see how wagamama is going to respond to that, and yeah, just as you pointed out, I don't have anything to add to the reasons why the heroes that were banned. It's up to now looking really standard. Chen and Furion were the two heroes, or two of the heroes that are still really powerful left in the pool. And wow, WhA Asian not losing any time here, just banning, picking up Chaos Knight as well as Queen of Pain as well as Enigma in response to that Nature's Prophet as well as Chen.
With this Enigma pick, I'm going to hammer on about it until the day I die. I've just seen... I don't want to spoil the last game that I was just watching. But whenever Enigma is picked up, good things usually happen, because if he's sat in that forest, he is basically a bank account accumulating gold. He can get up his mech really quickly, or if he decides to go pipe or dagger to initiate or to push down towers, he can do that equally as quick. But his actual skill set is absolutely brilliant for this current game. If they want to do team fights, obviously he has a team fight ulti. He can come onto the lane to offer some lane presence with his Malphus, which is a great stun, holding people in position. He's got his Eidolons, which he can use to farm and to push and to defend towers, as well as Midnight Pulse, which is a very interesting spell simply because it's so useful against BKB carriers. and BKB carriers are incredibly common in this current game.
Absolutely, man. And it is a very, very well-versed skill set he has. And also Midnight Pulse, maybe just a little extra bonus. It cuts down trees, so it's good to kind of reveal some jukage or prevent that. And the last pick in the first pick phase from Infused is going to be that Venomancer. So let's quickly compare maybe what kind of all-around picture the three picks from either team kind of represents or brings to the table at the moment. I will go over Infused quickly. It appears that with Nature's Prophet you obviously have the ability to make a +1 situation of every single one. Good combination with the Night Stalker, who's also still left in the pool. The Russian teams really like to utilize that Balinar, that Night Stalker, because he's very good in diving those towers. Then Furion comes in underneath that tower as soon as Night Stalker has taken that aggro, spawns those Treants. As soon as those are there, you can dispel the aggro onto those Treants, continue your dive, and all those supports, such as that Venomancer with that strong slow, can come in. Obviously, Night Stalker not picked up yet, but that is Night Stalker as well as Venomancer. Venomancer, very strong support player, has the best, in my opinion, the best slow for a level 1 skill. Those wards, obviously, super versatile, and Chen, obviously, one of the strongest junglers. He can just grab up those creeps. You have a very strong heal. He's a mech carrier as well. So he will add great survivability overall to your team, and that is what Infused has at the moment coming out of their 3 picks. What do you think, Dirk, about WhA's Asians team composition out of those 3 picks they have up to now?
Well, Chaos Knight is one of those heroes that can luck out, or he can obviously take 20 or so minutes to actually build up momentum, depending on how they play him. If he gets lucky early on and gets a couple of kills, then yeah, he can snowball out of control. But looking at their picks currently, they're just looking for strong laners, basically. Just try and hold their own, farm up some core items first, and looking at this Infused side, they're going to be looking for some big pushes here or diving behind towers. So if WhA's Asian can actually hold their towers and defend the tier 1s for the first 10-15 minutes, then they're going to be looking good for themselves.
Yes, obviously the Queen of Pain, again, a very strong laner, good nukage, and WhA's Asian banning out that Night Stalker. So I guess, yeah, totally. He would have been a great addition to those 3 heroes. Imagine, you have Furion. Because you have a jungler in that Chen, you could do something crazy like aggressively laning that Furion, but many teams have started to solo mid that Nature's Prophet as well, because he gets some good levels up, and he can just do some good ganks because he has a high level teleport then naturally, because he gets that solo lane EXP. And the Night Stalker would give the team that tankiness and also a silence as well as high mobility that they need, and combine that with his item progression, which will go into towards the direction of like an Aghanim Scepter, for example. It will add some additional map control through that night vision. And now the 4th pick for WhA's Asian is Windrunner. So Windrunner was one of those very powerful heroes still left in the pool, because it's just such a versatile hero, and again they're losing no time at all. I can't even go through the explaining at all. So Windrunner was responded to by Infused with a Juggernaut, a relatively unconventional pick, to be honest, and Ancient Apparition finishes off the team for WhA's Asian. They have 43 seconds left on their bonus time. They don't care. They know what they want to do. It looks on this, my first impression of their team is really powerful and well-rounded all in all. One thing I did want to add to that Chaos Knight was that in theory he looks really strong, but I would like to check out his win percentage in competitive games, because he hasn't, at least in the games that I've casted, he has rarely won the games in which he has been picked, and the last pick for Infused will be that Death Prophet.
I'm sorry, which hero were you talking about that you would like to know win percentage of? Juggernaut?
No, Chaos Knight rather.
Oh, Chaos Knight. Yeah, from the games we've cast, definitely, he's not been the best hero. But that's because he doesn't really do so well in the way he's been played. They've tried to fit him into that, number 1 role where they try and build him up, get a lot of farm on him, and use him as a DPS carry. But in effect, he's more useful as a ganker and pusher, like taking down towers, taking out single or dual heroes with a group of ganking heroes. But I'm not sure. It all depends. It looks like that they're going to throw him at mid lane, possibly with his AA, and solo the Queen of Pain top with Enigma in the forest, with Windrunner on the bottom lane. That Juggernaut pick, I like it. It's been used quite a bit recently. MTW, I guess most famously, winning DreamHack with Juggernaut. Na'Vi have used it a couple of times. Most likely they're going to try and... You're being told to turn up your in-game mic. But most likely he's going to be maxing his healing ward rather than the crit, to try and push down these tier 1 towers, because obviously the healing ward is very useful for these summons.
Alright guys, for everyone tuning into the in-game sound here, I'm really sorry that I'm so quiet, or that you even can't hear me. I'm sorry. Again, you can't hear Dirk at all because I'm not in the possession of a mixed table and I am not doing casting full-time. I have a real-life job, so I don't have a lot of time, don't have a lot of money to invest in this type of thing, but I will try to get these things set up as well, but it will be... I mean, if I had a choice, I would totally invest as much as I could into this, but I can't. So if you guys do want to support me or something, then feel free, but until then we will have to live with how things are at the moment. And to all you guys listening in-game, if you can barely hear me, then again, my apologies for me being so quiet and for you guys not being able to hear Durka. But then again, thank you for supporting Valve and their valiant effort of what has become my absolute, by far, favorite game in the whole world, in Dota 2. And we'll have two good teams now going up against each other in the defense. Also, a big shout out to everyone tuning into my stream. I'm Epi, with me is Durka. Thank you all very much. And let's quickly go over the picks as we're still paused. We will have... Who's James Blunt? He doesn't play Dota. Agam will be playing Nature's Prophet. Yeah, as you said, Fishbone, Venomancer, Wagamama, Death Prophet. I haven't seen a Death Prophet in a while. And he also hasn't been that effective, at least in the last 2 or 3 games I've seen her played, even though she has big potential. All you need to do with her is get up some good mana regen, whether it be a bottle, a soul ring, or arcane boots, or any combination of those 3 items, doesn't really matter. Get up your mana regeneration, so you are able to just flash farm those creep waves, get that golden, tank up, and just throw out that exorcism in team fights and wreak havoc. Regen will be playing Juggernaut with a really cool outfit. I like Juggernaut. I have a really high win percentage with that hero actually. He just seems to work in pub games. Mini will be playing Chen, and the last hero that I might be missing is... No, I didn't miss anyone. Didn't miss anyone. Who's playing on the Dire, man?
Over on the Dire side, we've got Crydasia. I've been told that the 2 parentheses actually makes a D, so that's Crydasia on the Windrunner heading to bottom lane. We've got Hip Hop Not Pop on that Ancient Apparition, most likely heading mid with this Chaos Knight, who is going to be played by Unicorn. RMC, who is also known as Philly, on the Enigma, and Phaetor at top lane with that Queen of Pain. The Enigma's just going to be denying a creep and then heading off to the jungle.
Yes, the game is underway for the defense. I'm pumped. Riceman team against Infused. Let's see how this goes. Infused on the Radiant side are already grouping up to go into the middle lane, and let's hope for some action. Definitely Infused have a very, very strong level 1 fight capability. And we as Asia making no attempts at all to challenge this kind of thing. Some trains from Fury and also doing some scouting will realize that this group movement is in no way coming out of we as Asian as well, so we won't see some level 1 action, but we will see this typical aggressive lane ward. I've gotten very fond of it as of late because it gives you some crucial intel from this area right here, as well as movement coming in and support. TPs in toward the back that are meant to be sneaky, as well as pulling going on as well. So this will set up every kind of movement that you would like to be doing in from this side or from that side, or if you should know that you should back up because people are coming in to kill ya. And that is it for the ward. Actually, the Dire doesn't have any wards up as of yet, and then this typical Radiant ward up here for the top rune spot, as well as giving some vision of the enemy high ground.
I'd just like to point out some great moves there. Queen of Pain started off on the top lane, spotted at the Treant, trying to scout her out, so she knew that there was some kind of movement up on this top lane, and guessing correctly that they've thrown the Tri-Lane on top. So they've moved the Windrunner there, who will have a much easier time staying alive against this Tri-Lane, and put the Queen of Pain up against this Nature's Prophet at bottom.
Yes, that's interesting. They did swap their lanes really quickly, and that will give them a much easier time. They don't have to do this anytime as... Oh man, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. At any rate, we have a Wildkin here now picked up from Mini, and they're immediately skipping this creep wave, just taking the aggro. Crydasia eats a Gale. He does have a Windrunner, but he's taken a significant amount of damage, and level 1 isn't enough. He will most likely drop because the Windrunner wears off right now. This will be a first blood for Infused, and the last hit goes to Chen. Draws that first blood. He will most likely be able to afford his team a nice flying courier now. And the tier 1 tower at 1 minute 25 seconds already down to 2/3 of HP, and they're skipping another wave now.
Yeah, this tower's going to fall within the next minute and a half, 2 minutes. especially with Venom wards up as well. Lots of pressure coming down here. Chan just picked up another creeper, nice big Ursa there, ready to pressure this tower even more.
Yes, the courier not upgraded just yet. We'll see if Chen spent his gold. Otherwise, no, he's just holding on to those 760 gold at the moment. The warding did come out of the Dire in the meantime. High ground ward for the middle lane. Oh, and that top tower does fall. So yeah, you're right, man. Barely 30 seconds after that first tower drops. So 2 minutes into the game, we might. This looks like we've got some Russians playing, man. Just coming, judging by the aggression at the moment. So again, we have a high ground ward from the Dire, giving him some vision of Wagamama sitting here, and that limits his movement capability. And simply
Bottom lane.
Bottom lane, thank you. Bottom lane, we have Feda. He's now in big trouble. Blinks himself far into the trees and immediately uses himself, so he saves himself there. Nice work. But now he looks to be in a little bit of trouble. 4 more seconds. Now here come the trains. Dispel that self. He looks to be in a bit of trouble. His blink is ready, but he's trapped by those trains. He has to use his blink, and he's still stuck in the trees. Here comes RMC in for support for EGM. Queen of Pain in the meantime did eat his way out of there. And now Agam looks to be in a little bit of trouble, and he makes his home right there. He's like setting up camp, man, in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, Fury in there, just really annoying the Queen of Pain. Getting pushed off the lane completely.
Pain without consequence.
And at this mid lane, how's things going for this Chaos Knight? 15 for 9, how's Krob doing? 5 for 1. Yeah, this AA, who picked up a double damage at the 2nd minute rune, I believe, and harassing down this Death Prophet so she can actually farm efficiently.
Yes. I experienced a little bit of lag. I have to close the window quickly, so sorry, dear viewers, I will be right back with you. Just close this here quickly, close that, and I'll switch you guys back into the game. My apologies. My apologies.
Fatal there at the bottom lane, taking a lot of damage. Trying to get one Shadow Strike off on the Nature's Prophet there, but copying a huge amount of damage from his Treants and a couple of right clicks.
Yeah, middle lane, we got some movement coming in. Just smoked up Venomance as well as Mini. Sorry I interrupted you. I thought we got action coming in any second now in the middle lane.
Yeah, they're posturing for it, and they'll move out in a couple of seconds now.
Yeah, Chaos Knight, Ancient Apparition, just such a powerful lane, just because it's almost always a guaranteed proc of that ice. And now here comes James Blunt on that Venomancer. Here we go. Gale hits on Chaos Knight. He's a little bit tanky. Immediate defensive cold feed, forcing Venomancer back out, and that will save the life of Chaos Knight. Just good positioning overall from WhA's Asian. And smoke wasted as well as a little bit of time from the two supports on Infused. Now counter initiation on Wagamama actually, and a stun is well used from RMC. Only one stun though, it's only level 1 Malefice, so Wagamama will survive. But that lane is pretty tough for him here in the middle. On the bottom lane in the meantime, Feda again now rushing himself toward that haste rune. He has himself a bottle now, magic wand recipes sitting in his stash. And RMC also rotating around now, doing some aggressive jungling, some pings also coming out now onto Wagamama. He's moving in, we'll see if he'll get trapped. Yeah, that Queen of Pain haste will be able to do a significant amount of damage. Actually, no, she doesn't even care. She returns to the bottom lane, maybe just wants to farm. And on the top, Region has remained there just to continue farming, out-leveling Windrunner by 1 whole level. She only afforded herself some boots up to now. 8 tangos as well. And Nature's Prophet committed suicide.
Yeah, he killed himself.
Wow.
Level 1 Shadow Strike on him. Aha. I'm not entirely sure it would have actually killed him, but he obviously decided to take the safe route. He didn't want the Queen of Pain to, jump on him again. But Fata there backing out, assuming that she had got the kill.
Yes, Crydasia, a little bit out, no, not really out of position. He had to run away into a different direction. Not taking any damage as of yet, but Region is continuing the chase. Not level 6 just yet. Now RMC was in there. Oh man, you're now in that freaking Blade Fury and you're eating too much damage. Down you go. And now Crydasia tried to help him out. Eats it slow though, so she won't be able to run away. But James Bond take a bunch of damage, gets sent back by Mini. Will be in time though. No, Venomancer goes down, and AA actually did get. No, sorry, I messed up my mates there. And the team fight's over here at the top lane. What happened? Was Chen trying to send Venomancer back?
Chen tried to send Venomancer back,
Okay.
but it's only a level 1 Holy Persuasion.
Yeah, it takes like 5 or 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, 6 seconds, and it almost worked. For some reason, I thought it was AA. Yeah, Mini has been doing a good job on his Chen. and been sitting in the opposite jungle the whole time. Taking down the tier 1 tower really quickly will open up this whole area of the map here relatively easily, unless we as Asian or the dire side invest a lot of resources in claiming that back. And judging from the warding, no such undertaking as of yet. The Wildcat's so annoying, being sent out, the ping goes out on Ancient Apparition as well. Will they dive? Yeah, Venomancer moving aggressively, but here's a Chaos Knight as well. They do want to grab that tower, though. Now they will initiate on that Ancient Apparition, and Mini is here as well, and he will drop. Chen gets another kill for himself, and Chaos Knight also in big trouble now. This tornado doing so much damage. Wagamama also in big trouble. Still a level 1 Malphite, only a Wagamama though. Chaos Knight drops to the Venomancer poison tick, just barely. Oh man.
Lots of confusion there, but for the past 4 minutes or so, it's been 3 or 4 heroes at this mid lane. They really want to take control of this, but Queen of Pain being left to her own devices at bottom, getting her bottle back that's been filled up by that courier and magic wand.
Yes, Regent's also sitting on level 6 now. He did spot out that Ancient Apparition, decided not to go ulti him. I guess he just wants to grab himself that tower, and he also wasn't able to check out if he has any support there, so he goes to safe route. He has his phase boots up, 750 gold. Magic wand and poor man's shield. That's what I like to go. Except for those phase boots. Man, I always want to swear instinctively, want to say words with P. Now comes the ultimate! And down goes Ancient Apparition immediately. Really nice usage of Regen there. Just his movement, just so elusive, man. It didn't even look like he was moving aggressively at all. And then all of a sudden there comes that ultimate, and the tier 2 tower on the mid lane already down to less than half HP. From the back though, here's the Queen of Pain. Fader is waiting for his right time to jump in. His ultimate is up. TP coming in as well. Will they initiate? Infused is backing up right now. Will we as Asian commit to the chase? Queen of Pain is definitely in the vicinity. One blink away. Will they jump? Yes, she jumps. Slow goes out of Wagamama, but anticipation move from Mini, already using that Holy Preservation on his mate, and he gets sent back safely. And the tier 2 tower is left at 172 HP, just 12 HP above that critical deny range.
Furion looking like he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, just out of range, getting into the fog there, and cancelling the Reality Rift from the Chaos Knight.
And now, already, immediately, some movement going on to Crydeja on the top lane. An invisible Juggernaut, so sad. Now using the Wind Run, gets herself out of range. Will Fury be able to get that Sprout? It looks like it. One auto attack. Just chasing after, not sprouting! Egg him! Shackle doesn't latch. But Crydeja survives. Here's Venomancer though, eats a slow, and A ultimate flying in! Queen of Pain gets the last hit, A ultimate helping out a big deal there as well. So, we as Asian get themselves a big kill here in their own jungle, and pushing Infused back a little bit. And they're not done yet by the looks of it. Pings go from Fader. He still has his ultimate, level 4 Scream of Pain, so he has some significant damage potential right now. This is basically the point of the game where he is still able to burst down heroes really quickly if only he has like 1 or 2 teammates there, or finds a hero on low enough HP.
Yeah, and you'll notice that the mid tier 2 on Dire is actually within deny range, but they're going to leave that for as long as they possibly can, because if you deny it straight away, obviously your enemy will get some form of gold from it and the tower will be gone. But if you hold that gold, it's basically denying them some income, which they obviously want.
Yes. A ultimate flying in, trying to slow this push down. Regen gets shackled to a tree while, yes, actually the debuff, the frostbitten debuff it's called. Deny attempt also as well. Yeah, Juggernaut just has to take a bunch of damage there. The power shot doesn't fly through though. That was a nice attempt in maximizing the damage that he has to take, but it's only a level 1 shackle shot, so he hasn't been disabled for too long. And now a gigantic wave moving into the tier 2 bottom lane in combination with a Crobulus ultimate. Crydeja firing his power shot through, and again this crucial Omni Slash used, and AA is just such a poor victim against this huge damage output. And Fader actually uses his ultimate onto a magic immune Regen now, and he himself is in trouble, has to blink himself out defensively. Good shackle shot to 2 heroes though, maybe saving Chaos Knight's life. The Tornado again doing so much work, and all those heroes from WhA Asia now down so low from that Furion, or Nature's Prophet ultimate rather, and the tier 2 on the bottom drops.
Yeah, here's exactly what I'm talking about. We're 10 minutes in, and look how many towers have fallen. I mean, this was obviously an Infused plan from the start.
Yes,
WhA Asia not really reacting.
Yes, they did very well against EG in the last game as well, and it appears that they have a hard time adapting to this very dynamic, pushing-oriented lineup from Infused. They've obviously been practicing their strat. It looks very, very calmly executed from them. And yeah, as you called it in the draft phase, Furion, Crobulus, Chen, as well as Nature's Venomancer, and also that Juggernaut ward is not to be underestimated when it comes to pushing. And they got 1, 2, 3, 4 towers down, now a 5th, although that one is denied, but that will still go toward the Infused bank account, although a diminished amount. And now first, or actually the second aggressive ward placed now from Team Infused. One here at the enemy secret shop, one up here to set up some ganks maybe. And they will look for that tier 2 on the top lane as well now. And all the while, the Dire haven't been able to get up any big core items. Enigma only has boots as well as that Soul Ring, Chaos Knight, Bottle, Bracer, Stout Shield. How much gold does he have? 515, so he's been crippled in his farm. And yeah, it just looks very, very bad in terms of item. Chen, on the other hand, almost has his mech completed. He's sitting on 800 gold, so he needs a little bit more, and he has that item finished, and that will just add so much more pushing potential. Juggernaut also finishing up the Drum of Endurance, and those are like those like smaller items, core items you can complete, and they will still contribute greatly to your pushing potential. They will use that now to get to work on that. Oh, Chen gets tracked to his own tree. Will they follow up? Power Shot flies through. A ultimate also going to fly. Hits on Venomancer. Stun also hits on Venomancer. 2 seconds. Cold Feet is up. Silence is out, but Venomancer gets the ultimate out before he himself goes down. Now, 2 heroes from WhA Asian go down, looking big trouble. Another Shackle on Mini, but I don't think there will be any. Ancient Apparition again gets ultimate. Gets Omni Slash by Juggernaut. 3 heroes down. Just looking so messy.
Necro 1 now up on the Nature's Prophet as well. They're going to be pushing into the tier 3.
Oh shit. Yeah, maybe also Infused could have had Mini's recipe for that mech also on that same courier now. You know, it's flying out just with the Necronomicon. There's no reason why there shouldn't be the mech recipe on there as well. Now they're taking the high ground immediately, not using any time. TP coming in, A ultimate flying through. We haven't seen a big black hole yet. There's one thing that's going the way of WhA Asian. There it goes! Region goes down immediately. Juggernaut, the biggest hero, goes down. Wagamama looks in big trouble. Eats a big attack from Chaos Knight. He drops. Mini sends back Nature's Prophet before he himself attempts to run away, but he looks to be in big trouble. Shackle doesn't match though. Stun is ready. It's such a ridiculous short cooldown. Here's the burst damage from Fada, and Windrunner gets the last hit. So 3 deaths now for Infused, and the Wildkin, poor Wildkin.
Yeah, not the best decision to go to the tier 3. They did rush into that. I was going to comment on the low respawn times on the WhA Asian side, simply because it's 14 minutes into the game, and I reckon that someone on Infused, you know, called, let's go for tier 3, and then after this skirmish they looked up at the clock and they're like, we're only 14 minutes into the game, I think we should possibly go and farm up a little more, push out all the lanes, try and split push these guys, because with the Black Hole, Queen of Pain ulti, AA ulti, there is actually a lot of AoE damage coming out there, and in a small space that is, you know, leading up onto the ramps of the base, the AoE damage can cause so much against 5 men pushing in.
Yes, that is a good point. The inherent positional advantage that you have, judging by the fact that 5 heroes and a bunch of creeps have to fight their way up this little narrow ramp right here, will give you a big advantage. The Black Hole AoE is something around that, maybe a little bigger than that. AA ultimate also will cover that entire area. Bottom lane, Nature's Prophet is debuffed, but no real chance coming out of WhA Asian. And yeah, as you just said, man, WhA Asian has a lot to offer when it comes to defending their high ground. They successfully did so. Maybe showing Infused, you know, you're up against some real opponents, guys. You won't be able to get your win that easily. You may have gotten all those outer towers, but still, that big goal advantage from 7.5k gold, not enough for them to just push in at their own will, or as they please.
Well, see, I don't like to use the word like cheesy in Dota 2, but if someone used a tactic such as Infused are using now in StarCraft, it would be called a cheese strat, because they've gone for one goal in mind. They're not really looking towards the mid-game or late game. They really want to push into the enemy base by the 20-minute mark. And to be honest, if they don't do that, they're going to be facing some problems. If the Chaos Knight gets up some items, if WhA Asian gets up some core items themselves and takes some big team fights, the level advantage and the gold advantage that they can actually gain from winning team fights in their own base, a lot of people underestimate that. If you do 2 or 3 failed pushes and give your enemy a lot of gold and a lot of experience, let them build up their items, all of a sudden they'll have an advantage over you.
Yeah, it can happen faster than you think, man. I think all of us have those pub experiences where we are totally owning a game and killing them noobs left and right, and then you think let's finish, and then you just don't coordinate well enough. Let me finish that thought later, because here comes the 3 big second stun as well. A huge A ultimate dropping Eggum on the spot. Down he goes. Support TP too late. Region has his ultimate up though. So very good move here from Chaos Knight. Does the wise thing. TP's out.
Yeah, Juggernaut there really wanted his Blade of Fury to end sooner so he'd get his Omni Slash off. Just like, end, please, I want the mini stun from my ulti.
We all know that feel, man. When it's like, oh man, why do I have to keep spinning? Especially toward the later stages of the game when your auto attack does so much more damage. But yeah, as we're talking about that, we all had those games where we were just owning noobs left and right, and we just take high ground in a very wrong fashion, maybe when we're low or we're just like 2 or 3 heroes, and then we feed like 5 to 10 kills to the enemy, and all of a sudden we realize, damn it man, we got ourselves a really close game now, and then you lose it. Now Queen of Pain looks to be a little bit of trouble. Eggum does a good job of spotting him out there in the corner. His blink is off cooldown though, such a hard hero to catch, but very good movement from Mini with a Dark Troll Whirl, using the net to stop that channel, and that will be the death of Fada. Silence even supporting his mates there.
Yeah, take a look at the XP graph and you'll see what we're talking about. The XP graph, pretty much normal, going normal because there were no big team fights, so it was pretty even. But then when Infused tried to get into their base and lost that team fight, huge XP advantage went towards the Dire. The gold, on the other hand, obviously showing in the favour of Infused as they've been farming up, getting a lot of core items. But it's not to be underestimated that these Dire can bring it back. I mean, look at Enigma now. Has he just finished his mech? I think there's mech on its way in the career. Indeed it is. So he's got his mech up at 18th minute mark. That's pretty good for him. Windrunner with her face boots and 1k gold. Not brilliant. Probably looking towards a 4 staff. AA looking very, very lean himself. But Chaos Knight looking to tank up now. Vitality booster almost Vanguard.
Oh yeah, absolutely good point here in drawing our attention toward the item progression, because now the Dire is catching up, and we're talking about this in another game as well. Tower goal advantage is a temporary goal advantage, man. As long as you can keep your own outer towers, it is your advantage if you push the enemies down, but it's definitely not indefinite. It's definitely not an indefinite advantage. And if we look at the warding as well, the Dire have their high priority set, man. They want to get a little bit of pushing going, get the tier 1 on the top down, and they have that one crucial ward at the Roshan pit. Want to make sure that this year's not going to happen, like a smoked mini now moving in. Is he going to D-ward or something? No, he doesn't have any true sight items. He just wants to look for some opportunities to get a kill. But the Dire know of the importance of a Roshan now. Actually, now Eggum TPing himself into the Roshan pit. So no knowledge of this Roshan item from WhA's agent. This will come down to experience. And judging from the movement on the minimap from the Dire side, as well as that courier flying in, they might very well spot this out in time. Come on, guys.
Oh, I thought Enigma was going in there.
Yes, same here, man. Damn. Nice move from Infused now. Sneaky stuff. And the fact that we have Venomancer just sitting on the bottom lane showing himself, as well as those other heroes now in the middle lane, it's just some very sneaky stuff. Roshan drops and the Dire had no idea. Bottom lane, Fada again in big trouble, has to again blink himself far into those trees and TP himself out. He does survive though, so that's one thing that's going for him. Now support TP's coming in. WhA's Asian trying to get out of here. Mini stun in time and hip hop no pop, man. Poor guy. That Omni Slash is dedicated to you, my friend. 3 or 4 times he's dropped now to that Omni Slash, just to that Omni Slash. Or rather to the Juggernaut. He had to use his Blade Fury a couple other times as well. Now that healing ward prioritized over his crit, only 1 level in that. His ward has 3 points in it again, and again, it shouldn't be underestimated, only because that healing ward is kept maxed out till last from those 3 skills and pubs. It is still a ridiculously strong heal and works very well with these pushing lineups. Now again, a giant wave moving into the high ground. Ultimate also used from wagamama. What will Dire side do? Here comes Chaos Knight immediately, not using any time. 2 second stun. A-ult also flying through. Here's Fada. Gets bursted down. Oh, will he be able to blink himself away? Mech keeps him alive 1 second longer, but the blink cooldown too slow. He does go down. Venomancer also drops. Now, we as Asian trying to drive them off their high ground. Was Infused, not backing off though. Here comes some nukes. Black hole. It gets interrupted though, and down goes Enigma. And Ancient Apparition also there. Nice hack shot onto 2 heroes as well. This fight is far from over, but now both heroes from WhA's Age taking so much damage they won't be able to defend this, and the tier 3 tower might very well drop. Triple kill now on Chen!
Yeah, some sloppy defending there. They did well in the first go, getting off a lot of their AoE spells, but Queen of Pain getting caught out, and Enigma not landing Black Hole, and you know, their spells weren't as cohesive as they were earlier on. They sort of cast them out of time and out of sync with each other. And that led to their racks falling, unfortunately.
But yeah, bottom racks go down right now. Another A ultimate and a good setup here from Windrunner. Over the target a little bit. Wagamama as well as Mini eating that ultimate. Wagamama gets sent back. Mini will not shatter. And Agam getting to work on that top. Necro Book level 3 now up. On top of that, Aegis, 2k gold, so he will look toward improving his damage most likely. Or an Aga. And if Vlad's up on Juggernaut. So the items are speaking volumes about what Infused has been trying to accomplish with this strat. And that is just some very, very, very strong and fast pushing. And it has been working out well for them as of now. Up to now it's been going very well.
They knew exactly what they needed to do. I called the 20-minute when they needed to break into the base, and they did destroy those racks at about 20 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, Venomancer 2 seconds up on him. A ultimate flies in. Ultimate from Queen of Pain as well. Here comes a mech. Is a Chen Heal going to come? He doesn't have mana or the cooldown ready for it. It appears that they will back off now. 2 heroes low. Actually, Venomancer does drop to Queen of Pain. He ticked down from the Shadow Strike, it appears. Top lane, Agam. Just hanging out, stealing some creeps. Power shot, gonna spot him out. 3 heroes from WhA's Asian are here. It's a pretty strong lineup when it comes to pushing out of Infused, and I think many teams will have some problems with that. Your defensive coordination with your team has to be spot on. You have to know which towers to defend, which ones to sacrifice, which ones to trade, and maybe just survive that time window of the early to mid game in which they are the most powerful without trying to give away a significant gold advantage, which then the enemy could use to transition well into the mid-late game. And Infuse are still riding on that advantage. The gold difference is now over 12k at 23 minutes. That's ginormous. That gold from the tier 3 tower as well as the racks and those little buildings they might have gotten, really helping out in that regard. And the EXP is still in their advantage as well. And the item progression also looking strongly in favor of Infused Juggernaut now also within Yasha.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people now are talking about how important the draft is, and if you just look at the heroes that each team has got, Infused have a absolutely massively heavy...
Sorry man, top lane, initiation on Egem. Here's Chaos Knight, he's silenced though. He wanted to initiate, gets 4-staffed out, they have to retreat immediately. Further south though, Infused 2 heroes, the 2 supports, also scaring off the WhA's Asian boys. And TP has to come out from Enigma actually back to base.
Yeah, but WhA's Asian, they took some very good laning heroes. The trouble is, they needed their laning phase to be extended, try and farm up some core items. Enigma sitting in the forest and supplementing that. But their lanes disappeared, absolutely melted under the pressure of this Infused side.
Yes, deja vu, man. Same thing happening on the top as it happened on the bottom. Egem now gets Shackle, A ultimate flying in, but Chaos actually helping him out in that regard. He would have most likely shattered. Here comes Fader with that burst damage. Egem now drops, but the Aegis will bring him back right away. Enigma had no chance of getting out of his ultimate. He's dead for another 25 seconds. Now Fader, actually no, it's Cry Deja, goes down on that Windrunner. AA is going to fall. 3 heroes dead for WhA's Asia. Now Infused still all alive. They're looking so healthy and good. Tier 3 drops, so no more damage coming from that one. And the melee racks on the top will go down. The range is going to follow, and there's nothing that the Dire can do about this.
And that's game over. There is nothing that WhA's Asian can do to come back into this. With 2 lanes down, they don't have the capabilities to hold both lanes. They don't have any massive AoE, they don't have any heroes who can cleave down these lanes. And with a 3rd set of racks well on its way to being destroyed, it's going to be very, very difficult indeed just to win a team fight to push them out of their base.
Yes, Regen, 3 seconds stun, A ultimate flying in. Mech doing so much work, now the magic immunity, 60 seconds on the cooldown of his Omni Slash, but he will just go to work like that, auto attack him down, 328 the crit. And down goes Venomancer actually. There was a 320 crit from Chaos Knight actually getting him down. Sorry, I totally confused that one. Now Regen just trying to fight his way through here. They want to get that last Rex, get those Mega Creeps. Black Hole now from Enigma. He's channeling it out all the way. Mini's still caught in it. Is Chen going to drop? Shackle also, Power Shot does get the last at Egg and also in big trouble. Burst damage coming out. Pull him right back into Chaos Knight, into that big sword, getting the kill.
And this is why I enjoy tournaments with a time rating rule, simply because WhA's Asian need to defend. If they want to continue in this competition and get the best points they can and get the best chance of continuing in this competition, they have to defend and survive as long as possible, which is why they are playing their asses off.
Yes, Egan now, and so is Infused, so buybacks come out all the time, and now Nature's Prophet again TPing right back to the enemy base. They want to finish this. Mech pops as well. They want to use the most of this exorcism from Death Prophet. Still has quite a ways to go. Now comes the GG from Fada, but there's nothing over until the Ancient itself drops, and I think that is what, when it comes, will be the time that's used for the time rating itself. GGs are being exchanged though, just some respect coming off all those players, some really, really nice guys playing here in this competition. Regen gets shackled. The creep micro to take out that healing ward. And now the Ancient is under attack. AA also already disconnecting out. The Ancient taking so much damage so quick, and there's nothing that, as you said, we as Asian on the dire side can do about this. It's gonna drop within the next 5 seconds, and Infuse will take the win against we as Asian in the defense competition. I don't think there's much that needs to be said about this, because the draft from Infused speaks volumes. They picked a strat and they made it work. It worked out for them. They got themselves a gold advantage they needed to transition well into the later stages of the game. And that is game. We as Asian lose the game to Infused here in the defense. There's 2 more games coming up tonight, guys, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. I will stop the recording right here. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Epi, with me is Durka, and I will let you know right away when the next game is starting.